Hello YouTube, it is me, Raina, and I am back. So once again, here I am with Netflix. So if you ever heard the change in guard is happening with Netflix, the old CEO is leaving, they're having new people in charge, and they're switching over the guard in corporate. And they've come out with some recent statements. They were asked about the canceling of a lot of TV shows that they've had on their platform for the past few years. And basically, this is me paraphrasing. They're saying basically if it's a show that's only have a small audience, and the reason why they cancel it because the budget is too big. You have to have small shows for small audiences and big shows for big audiences. And here is where I cut it off, because to me, the shows that they have canceled, a good majority, not all of them, but a good majority were not big budget. First Kill was not a big budget. They had $5 in a dream, okay? And that's not a knock on the First Kill. That's a knock on Netflix, because they did not give them enough money. And I'm not talking about like big budget. There's like at least like CW money, which is still not a lot, to be quite honest. You can't tell me a lot of the shows that they have canceled had a big budget. They didn't even have big actors in them. And when it comes to viewership, you can't tell me the first season of Warrior Nun was even better than season 2. I know for a fact that the viewership had to have gone up not only for season 2, but for the first season. And First Kill not broke records, but it did well in the summer. Like I said in my video about First Kill, it did humongously well in between Stranger Things Part 1 and Part 2. And months after Heartstopper, like what other new show that no one knew about was doing that well at that time? You'd be out of your mind not to renew a show like that. And many others like that. And recently, the problem is here with Netflix, they spend too much money on the shows that they have nothing to do with. Like, a lot of networks have deals with Netflix, so they still have some of the CW shows on there, ABC, Fox, CBS, like all the regular network TV shows, and they have to pay to have them on there. And I've been saying this for the past few years. You can go back to my first Netflix video. In due time, it may not happen today, may not happen tomorrow, next week, or next year, but in due time, a good chunk of those shows will be yanked off of Netflix. I can guarantee that. It's already happened with The Office and Friends. And in that time frame, the reason why a lot of shows are canceled, because they were forking over millions upon millions of dollars to keep The Office and Friends on there because they were so popular. Now that's off. They had enough money to produce some shows. But see, now they got Seinfeld. I'm not sure how much they're paying for Seinfeld, but I'm pretty sure it's a lot of money. Now, Seinfeld hasn't shown to like really have a strong streaming audience like The Office and Friends did, but I would not be surprised considering who's in Seinfeld and the fact that it was popular in its time. It's a lot of money. So they're still paying a lot for that. They're producing all these shows from around the world. And also they're still going into really big, expensive productions recently now with like Avatar: The Last Airbender, a live action version of that, and a live action version of One Piece, where people are still on edge about. The original creators of Avatar left at the beginning of this, and they're going to be going against Paramount Plus, who is already creating some more Avatar stuff. And then with One Piece, when it comes to anime live action, people have had problems with those. The recent Cowboy Bebop live action didn't go over well. They canceled that. And with that, they actually put money into promoting. They promote it. And speaking of promoting, the biggest way they fail is no promotion. And promotion does cost money. The money that Netflix does not have. They drop a lot of stuff within a month. A lot of stuff. And they know they do not have enough money to promote these shows. Then they act surprised when they get, anger back from fans who have rallied behind the show, like with Julie and the Phantoms a couple years ago. They recently canceled the Midnight Club or whatever that show was with Mike Flanagan that just had it. He said, well, bye Netflix. I'm going over here. I think he's going to either to Amazon or Paramount Plus. Please correct me if I'm wrong. He's gone. Granted, they still have, Bridgerton, Stranger Things, of course, the Ryan Murphy crime show, whatever that's going to be. They still got some hits on there, but that's very few in between. Not everything can be a Wednesday. The reason why Wednesday be a phenomenon because of Jenny Ortega. She's a rising star. And because of the Addams Family IP, that's a well-known IP, so it's really no surprise. Not every single show can be that at all. And you need to have those shows that does have a fervent fan base that's going to be dedicated, that's going to really watch your show in one fell swoop. That's more success than canceling it and then your audience being apprehensive unless they know for sure it's going to be a big hit. They're not going to watch it. And that's a good majority of their stuff. And I've been saying this for years, and they're going to have a really bad wake-up call when all them other shows that are from other networks are gone from their library, and all they have is their stuff that they produce. And they ain't going to have enough to cover it. And not only audiences will stop coming them, you have creators, showrunners, actors, all these people who work on these shows who have been shafted. The animation, like they really treat their animators like crap, like HBO Max. Like no one is going to come to there unless maybe for a movie for an Oscar. But other than that, when it comes to TV shows, they're going to go over to somebody else or try to make their own company and put out their own stuff and realize, hey, Netflix was good for a time, but maybe now we can do a change again and not have Netflix. So that's my whole response to that quote. I believe they're really just out of their minds in saying that. There's no way any of these shows, a good chunk of these shows were not expensive to make, to renew, and to do whatever. They did not have, A-list actors. They did not have these big budgets. Like the budgets of Netflix shows vary. They're very inconsistent. When it comes to a certain show they want to put out and put money into. And the reason why that is because they put out so much stuff within a year, and they can't give each show an equal budget. So that's just my thoughts on what was said in the article. What are your thoughts? Leave your comments down below, and bye YouTube.